What's up, creators? It's your boy, Mad Mike. And on today's episode, I'm gonna update you guys on all the projects that we have on the channel. So you're gonna wanna stay tuned and check it out. Welcome back to the channel, guys. On today's video, I'm gonna be doing a bit of a walk around, giving you guys an update on all the projects that we have going on the channel. As you can see behind me here, we have the Fiero Ferrari kit car back in the Mad Lab. We have the 440 big block that we yanked out of a motorhome behind me as well. If you guys saw the last video, it was pretty exciting stuff. We finally got the motor running. It's all dialed in, it's running strong, starts on the first push of the button. So now that the motor is done, I'm jumping back into working on the Pontiac Fiero Ferrari kit car. So that'll be the first car that I kind of do a bit of a walk around and talk to you guys about where I'm at and what we're gonna be doing with the car on the channel. After I give you guys an update on the Fiero Ferrari kit car, I'll give you an update on the Cuda project, the 74 Cuda that we have, as well as the 1976 GMC Sprint, also known as the El Camino, which we're doing a Cuda conversion to the front. We're calling it the El Cuda. We also have a Ferrari 355 convertible kit car that I'm building for my dad. It's also based on a Fiero chassis. But behind me is the Cre8tive replica kit car. So let's dive into that and I'll kind of give you an update on this car. Bam! The Fiero Ferrari replica is back in the Mad Lab. If you guys are new to the channel, this is a kit car based on a 1985 Pontiac Fiero GT. It's a 4-speed manual and it's got a full custom wide body Cre8tive Testarossa replica body on it. We just painted it all up with Viper Red single stage paint, built some custom canards for the front. We got the custom chassis mount wing that we built for the back, and we're just bringing it into the Mad Lab to do some final tune-up. The engine bay is in desperate need of some refurbishing, so we're gonna be painting the valve cover and the shock mounts and redoing the trunk. So we're gonna be doing a lot of cleaning up in the engine bay, as well as adding some inner wheel wells front and back, getting that all dialed in so the mud's not flinging through the scoop. As you can see, I've just been driving it outside from the storage unit back into the shop, and it was just slinging mud all the way through the scoops, all the way down the scoops here. So we got to dial that in. We got a bunch of radiators that get mounted up in here. But overall, the car is coming together pretty good. It looks absolutely insane. And the big reason why we pulled the 1974 Cuda project out of the Mad Lab and brought this back in is because it's springtime. I want to finish this car up and we're going to be listing this car for sale. We're going to be selling this car and putting that money towards some of the projects that we got going on, like the Cuda, the El Camino, or the El Cuda build, and my dad's Ferrari 355, as well as we're trying to buy a new house and a new big shop. So hopefully I can get this all done in the next month, listed for sale, and we get a pretty penny for it. And I'm open to offers. You know, I'm not gonna let the car go because I've done a lot of work to this. If you're an OG subscriber, you've seen where we pulled this car out from, and how long it's taken us to get to this point here. So stoked. We're gonna do some final buttoning up on this car here, get it listed for sale, and I'll do a couple of vlogs on me, you know, painting up the engine bay and everything else I do to it, because I know there's a lot of people that are subscribed to the channel that love the Fiero content, specifically this kit car build. If there's anything else you guys want to know on the Pontiac Fiero Ferrari, make sure to leave a comment below and I'll do a follow-up video and give you those answers that you guys might have. We also have to refurbish the wheels front and back. I originally, I think it was like probably 3 or 4 years ago now, painted the center caps of the wheels. They're a 2-piece wheel, and I polished the outer lip. But in the past 4 years, they've started to oxidize and haze. So I might do a follow-up video on how to polish and refurbish your wheels. What else? On the interior of the car, hopefully I can open up the door here without hitting anything. Don't want to hit that rear end for the Cuda. All right, so on the interior, might be a little bit dirty, but we got the red bucket seats installed. We got the replica steering wheel with our shifter down there. The whole center console and everything is just kind of sitting there rough right now. We did, however, get the door panels back on. So we got to paint the armrest and find out where all my caps are for my door handle areas. I do have everything, and we'll wire up the power windows because the power windows do work. What else we got to do in here? We got to redo the black headliner. It's not terrible, but we are going to kind of tidy up the headliner a bit. And then we are going to be respraying the center console, the dash, and the armrest with a vinyl spray, just a black. We might go ahead and fabricate a gated shifter, but I do know that it's kind of a pain in the ass on these Fieros because the shifter just isn't as accurate as the Ferraris are. If I had a short shifter kit in here, it might be better with a gated shifter, but this is stock, so I don't want it to affect me hitting my gears. But let's move on to the next car and I'll talk to you guys about that. Okay, so the next car we're gonna talk about is the 1974 Plymouth Cuda. You heard me, it's a 1974 Plymouth Barracuda. It's not actually a Cuda, but we are going to be transforming this Barracuda into an AAR tribute car. We're going to be doing a kind of like a street machine, street freak twist on it. We're going to do some super custom stuff on it. And we've made a lot of progress so far, guys. We've come a long way since we picked up that car. My girlfriend and I drove 10 hours round trip to go get it. And it was literally just a shell when we picked up the car. Put a front K-frame assembly inside of it with the steering, front disc brakes, everything, torsion bar, suspension, everything on the front end has been installed. Then from there into the back end of the car, we put a 9 1/4 Chrysler rear end out of a 74 Roadrunner, which has 355 gears, so it's a lot beefier of a rear end. Then, so that takes care of the front and the back. Oh, we got the new leaf springs out of a Challenger. So we got leaf springs, shocks, shackle mounts, everything installed with the 9 1/4 rear end. So now that we've got all that stuff installed, the car is actually a roller. So from when we first picked it up and it just being a shell, now we can actually push the car around with some wheels. Speaking about wheels, we have a set of 4 rally wheels, 14-inch, which are super stock and super awesome looking. I've always loved the rally wheels, but we also went ahead and picked up a set of slotted mags. They are 15-inch and they got some pretty big meats for the back. I love that staggered look with the raised up back end with some big meats on the back and some skinnier tires up front. Really kind of gives it that street machine, street freak look, and that's the look that we're going for. So that takes care of the wheels. On the interior, we put a full interior in it. We got a brand new dash. We got brand new front seats, bucket seats with rear seats installed. We have a new steering wheel, which is the tough wheel. So we got a steering wheel with a steering column that we installed too. Holy crap, we've installed a lot of parts into this car. From picking it up and it just being the shell and adding up all these parts, it's not cheap either. These Mopar parts are expensive. But it's fun hunting down all these parts and meeting all the people that have these parts because they have nice collections themselves. Generally, the people that I'm meeting are older guys and they're giving me some really good deals and they absolutely love what I'm doing as far as building the Cuda and all my other cars. They think it's super unique and different, and that's what we try to do here in the Mad Lab. So they're giving me some pretty good deals on the parts. So what else with the Cuda? We talked about the interior, the drivetrain, which is, oh, let's talk about the motor. We got a 440 big block, which we ripped out of a motorhome. So this is the 440 big block that we picked up out of a motorhome, out of an RV. I built a custom engine run stand, and in the last vlog, we got the motor running. It sounds absolutely amazing, especially once we add some mufflers, maybe some Super 10s. It'll be super loud and super raspy. It's really responsive, and the next step on the motor is to kind of tidy it up and clean the block, the valve covers, and kind of, we're gonna have to switch out the oil pan, maybe the manifolds, and a bunch of other stuff. But that's the drivetrain that's going into the Cuda project, so there's gonna be a lot of upcoming episodes on that. Now that we talked about the Cuda, again, if you guys wanna know something specific about the Cuda that I didn't bring up, make sure to leave a comment below and I'll answer those questions in the next video. Let's move on to the next project that we have, which is a 1976 GMC Sprint. We picked this up exactly a year ago. It's almost my birthday, which is April. We drove out, we picked it up with the intentions of making the El Cuda. You heard me. we're taking an El Camino and we're putting a Cuda front end on it and calling it the El Cuda. So that was before we actually had a Plymouth Cuda. The whole goal of building the El Camino with a Cuda front end got inspired by me wanting a Cuda. During the summer, I actually put the front end onto the El Camino, got it all grafted in. It actually lined up pretty good and looked badass. But then, when I was hunting for parts, I came across the 74 Cuda, which we currently have. So I went ahead and yanked off the entire metal front end that we had on the El Camino, and I listed the car for sale. Over the past year, I've had a bunch of tire kickers, and actually just last night, I had somebody that wanted to come buy it, but they didn't even want the car. They just wanted the shitty ass 305 that was actually in the car. Why they wanted to spend $1,500 for a 305 small block, I have no idea. But they were just gonna scrap the car. So I pulled down all the ads and I said, we're keeping the car, we're gonna finish it, we're gonna build it, and we're gonna be putting the fiberglass front end that is currently on the Cuda onto the El Camino, and we're gonna put a big hood scoop on it, paint it all satin black, maybe slam it to the ground. My girlfriend loves drift cars, so maybe we could build the El Camino, the El Cuda, into a badass muscle car drift car, which has a Cuda front end and an El Camino rear end. It's got a bench seat, which is awesome, but we might go ahead and pick up another 350 small block because they're fairly cheap for that car. Or if we can get the 305 running half decent, we'll just leave that in there, finish the car, get it painted, and then we can do some different motor swaps down the road. But as far as that car goes, we're gonna be keeping the El Camino. We're gonna be finishing it after we I gotta start working on my dad's car, which is a F355 replica. But we're definitely gonna be bringing that back onto the channel, back into the Mad Lab. So stay tuned for the El Cuda build. Again, if you have no more questions about the El Cuda build and you wanna know anything more, leave a comment below and I'll answer those in the next video. Moving on from there, what can we talk about now? So now let's start talking about the project that you guys haven't seen a lot of on this channel, which is the Ferrari F355 Spider that I'm building for my dad. This car is got a crazy backstory. It's gonna need a whole other video just explaining it. But long story short is, when I was 19, I started working at this car shop, and the gentleman that I was working for was building custom drag cars, and I was really into wanting to build a replica kit car because he had a Lamborghini Countach in his shop, and I absolutely loved it. And it was based on a Fiero chassis with a Northstar V8 in it. And I said, man, I want to build one of those. I can't believe you could actually build an exotic car and own it. And that's what I did. I bought, at the age of 19, I'm 37 years old now, so that tells you how long I've been working on this car and it's still not done. So at the age of 19, I started building this car. And over the past, how long has that been? 17 years? I don't even know how long that, I'm terrible at math. Over the past decade of working on this car, I have shipped it across the country twice, from the east coast of Canada all the way over to the west coast of Canada and back. And since that time, I've primered the car. I've done a little bit of work on it, but it's not done. And with my dad, helped me out with shipping costs and just storage when I wasn't living out here for a couple of years, and was helping me out with the payments of keeping it safe. So with my dad helped me out so much on that car, I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna build this car for him. He loves it. He wants to maybe paint it yellow. We'll see what happens. I know yellow's not that crazy of a color on any car, but on a Ferrari it kind of works. But yeah, we're gonna be building that car for my dad. I think it's gonna be a really fun project. I hope he really enjoys the car. We wanna make it a good running car. It does have a GT motor in it right now, which does run. It's got, I think, 70,000 kilometers on the motor. It's an automatic, but it'll be perfect for him. We might end up swapping it out with like a Northstar V8 or even a kind of a more modern V6, something that's more reliable that he can just hop in, go golfing, and drive home with no issues. So this car, it's in primer right now, and it needs a lot of work. We got real Ferrari interior in it. We do have to wrap the door panels, and we got to do the paint. There's so much work that we have to do on this car. If I have some old footage that was on my cell phone, I'll try to post it here for you guys. So yeah, so that's the Ferrari 355 Spider that we have, that I'm building for my dad. I'm super, super excited about that project. If you guys are excited about that 355 Ferrari kit car. Leave a comment below and let me know if you guys have any more questions on that car specifically. I know there's a bunch of Fiero guys that follow my channel because I started out on my channel with this car here, and that's how I got some traction, was with all you guys in the Fiero community. So leave a comment below if you guys want to know anything about that Fiero Ferrari kit car, the 355 Spider. I just wanted to give you guys quick update on what's going on in here because you're probably going to see some different content coming out onto the channel in the coming weeks. Probably wondering why am I working on this and not the Cuda, yada yada yada. I hope you guys are enjoying these different builds that we have going on. If you have a specific one that you like, leave a comment below and say, hey, we want to see more of this, because maybe I'll pull this one out and do that. If the majority of you guys want to see a specific build, I'll just focus on that and work on all the other ones without putting out the vlogs on them. Well, I think that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time. Ciao, ciao. Woo!
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the